Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of True Talk on the Couch. I'm your host, Ralph Cunningham, and as always, right on my side is my brother, Ezra Cunningham, aka the Black Butterfly, aka the Blind Poet.
How y'all doing out there in YouTube world?
How are you doing today, man?
Uh, you know, can't complain, man. I'm doing pretty good. What about yourself?
Oh, okay, it's been a hot day. It's been a hot couple of days.
Yeah, in the '90s, which is kind of weird, especially. But then tomorrow will definitely be autumn, the first day of autumn. So
Yeah, well, it feels like the first day of summer.
well, hey, since this is the last day of summer, y'all need to make it count. Do some fun.
Yeah, try to. Anyway, before all that rain and cold weather comes through.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the usage of the word nigga or nigger, the ER.
Yep.
Today is actually maybe like a three-part segment in which I'll have people to, come on the show, and we'll also, video chat with them. So it's going to be a pretty lively couple of episodes. It's not a bashing thing, so I want everybody to just cool your jets. It's okay. It's actually a learning experience. It's just basically letting people know how, black people feel about, or, some black people feel about the word or the usage of the word nigga or nigger, even from their own black people, even from black people, how they feel about that.
Right.
I also want to talk about how they feel about it when it's coming from whites, and it's a learning experience for not just, whites and other ethnic groups. It's a learning experience for us because we all need to keep this this conversation going, and I think that'll help a lot out with race relations. Of course, our little show isn't going to do crack it open or or stop everything, but hopefully generating and getting the talking started, maybe something like that to help out. What you think?
Yeah, and especially us coming together and talking about it peacefully, like mature people, not to start an argument or anything like that.
Listening.
Just because that's the one thing I think that we all don't do.
Yeah.
We need to listen more than we speak. That's why we have two ears. We need to listen twice as hard,
Yeah,
instead
exactly.
of speaking, as much as we do. So I think that, that would be a good idea. And for those out in YouTube world, you can also make comments.
That's Yahoo.
Yeah.
The True Talk on the Couch at yahoo.com.
Yeah. And, just tell us what you think about it. What's your feelings about that word? Do you think that the Nigga is friendly? Or the Nigger is bad? Or is it both bad? Is it, what's your opinion? Has it affected you? And it doesn't matter what race you are. We really just want that input and feedback. So
Exactly.
please do so.
Yeah, a lot of people think that I've interviewed some white people, and a couple of them seem to think that, when the word is used by whites, that we actually go a little bit overboard and a little upset or a lot upset, and
True.
and we get angry. Well, it's because usually when the word is used, at all times when the word is used, it's nigger is degrading. It's not. It's to hurt, and that's exactly what that word does. People say, yeah, the sticks and stones. Yeah, well, that word hurts.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah. I mean, it really does.
Mm-hmm.
And the background behind that word is so hateful, and you would think that in today's day that we should be well past that, but I mean, hatred and racism, it's just not going anywhere, and it's not going nowhere because we refuse to talk about it and address the situation. Yeah, there is racism out there, and yes, we do need to talk about it.
And I definitely do believe that. I think it's escalating even more so now because of the fact that we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. So that's something that you keep things bottled in for so long, a pipe is gonna burst.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen that, you know, in recent years, and we even see it now with, the different Klan rallies and, Black Lives Matter groups and things of that sort, about that word and things of that sort. It brings a lot of anger. It brings a lot of hatred in people's, in people's thoughts and hearts and minds. And that's something because they don't want to talk about it. It's kind of like taboo, and it really needs to be talked about.
It needs to be addressed big time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally like when the word is being used out of white people's mouth. I really don't. I find it very offensive, even if you try to use the GGA. I don't like it. I don't feel that it's friendly. I don't feel that that it should be used. I mean, personally, at all. I can't front though. I have used the word plenty of times.
Yes, I have too.
I've used like nigga, but I've never called anybody a nigger. So, I mean, not to say that, to me personally, one really ain't no better than the other, but the way today's society is, they try to have it that the GGA is supposed to be better. Personally, it's not. And I think that we should probably kill the word.
Yeah, but how will we go by doing that?
I mean, I don't know. You could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, you could try to ban the word, but that's messing around with people's. What, the Second Amendment, is that
First.
what it is? The first. I'm sorry, the second is gun. The first. The First Amendment. And I mean, like, wow, the freedom of speech. I mean, I personally don't feel that all speech is good speech.
That's true. That is very true. That's very true, because what you can say can incite a riot.
Yeah.
I
mean, you seen that in Charlottesville.
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't a peaceful protest as people want to claim. On either side, it wasn't peaceful.
No, it wasn't
But
at all.
if the Klan wasn't there spewing hatred, then the other group wouldn't have been there opposing what they had to, what they were doing. So
Yeah, but in a lot of ways, I do believe that the Klan knew what they was doing, because they knew that there was going to be protesters out there.
oh, of course
And
they were
the
ready.
protesters were ready for it too.
Yeah.
They were ready on both sides for something to jump off.
Oh yeah. I
They
think
really
they
were.
always come prepared
You
for
know,
stuff like that.
So it just goes to show you that that word and how people feel about the black race, how it bothers people. And I mean, and the thing about it is that it wasn't just whites that was on that side protesting the Klan. I mean, blacks. It was also whites and other ethnic races. So it's kind of interesting about that. But not to deviate from the subject. I think, me personally, I don't like it when white people say it. I don't, because of where that word came from. It stemmed from white people, their ancestry. When they had slaves, that's what they called blacks, Africans, African Americans,
It's an inferior
niggers.
thing. Yeah.
You're my nigger, and that's what they thought about black people. So when a white person says that compared to anybody else, it really leaves a bad taste in black people's mouth.
So you wouldn't mind if a Mexican said that?
I've had
Or
Mexicans to
Latinos,
say
or,
that.
and it doesn't bother you? I know
You
quite for
know,
sure it doesn't
I'm
bother
saying-
you half as bad as it would
No, it
someone
didn't.
white.
It
No.
didn't, because they never called. I've had one Mexican that I know for sure called me a nigger,
Oh,
and he was racist.
okay.
He was racist, but
Mhm.
I've had Mexicans say, "What's good, nigga?" And I've
nigga,
even
yeah.
said that, to him.
Yeah.
So that didn't really bother me, because I don't know, it just really didn't. But when he said that to me, the Latino guy that did say that did bother me, because I knew he was racist.
Yeah.
I knew he was a racist person. So it does bother you, but I think it's more so when it comes to black people, when white people say it bothers them more because of where that word originated from.
Yeah.
I think it does.
I asked Well, I actually asked a lot of people the question of, about um, banning the the usage of the word nigger, banning it. And a friend of mine, Starlin Lewis, he said that there was no way that you could ban it because that the word is out there. There's no repercussions that you can have on a person. How would you ban that word? How would you stop it? And I believe that.
Yeah.
I also talked to a lot of them about the power. They say it has, that black people have. We put too much power, too much, oomph behind that word, and we should really just lay back on it. And I've interviewed people on that. A friend of mine, David Moore, he said that the word has power, and he doesn't believe that there's any way to take the power away from that word.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe that we do need to take a page out of white people's book, because you can say the C word or cracker and it really doesn't bother them nowhere near as bad as a white person calling a black person nigger.
But the word ain't even used.
Yeah, it's not used.
I've never heard. Yeah, where do you hear that?
I've never heard anybody even get upset that was white being called like a honky or a cracker
redneck.
or redneck.
None of that. Yeah,
because
they love it.
They are hillbilly. I mean, whatever it may be, they don't take it like that. They don't,
So,
and they just
should
brush
we
it
not
off.
take it like that?
And
Nigga?
I think I don't know, man. I think that if we didn't give it that much power, just like they don't give it that much power when people would call them that, then maybe that word probably won't go away.
But you don't hear it though. You don't hear it. I mean,
you don't.
It's not used, and it's not a money maker like the word nigger is.
True.
That word nigger has made lots of people money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, entertainment. Let's go with music. Let's go with movies. I mean, it's in comic books. It's in everything. Cartoons, Boondocks. They say the word nigger a lot. I mean, I love that cartoon. I'm not gonna front, but I mean, have you not heard them use the word nigger in that cartoon? It makes money. That word makes and generates a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you take that word away, would a lot of people be losing money?
Probably so. No doubt they would.
Yeah.
That's something to think about, though. It really is, because I think that would break a lot of people's pockets, because a lot of movies, they have that in there because it's taboo. So nowadays everything is shock value. So we can use that, and we can say it as many times as we want and put add conviction onto it and make it seem even more real, and people will love it even more so. It'll be more shocking. So more money from that. So
So how do you feel about me personally? I see a lot of people that use that word on TV. A lot of your entertainers, a lot of stars, and a lot of them get caught. Of course, your white folks get caught saying, if a black person said it, whatever. But if a white person said it, they'll have it on every channel that there is, and which makes you wonder, like, why is it so much different when a white person said it in comparison to when a black person said it? I mean, should it not get the same airplay? But the point that I'm getting at is that they'll have the white person to, come on the next day and give like a 5-6 minute speech about I've never said that word before,
which is bull,
or I don't use that type of language, or this isn't something that I said, and when I saw myself saying that, I was hurt. I don't believe that.
Yeah, me neither. I don't believe that not one bit.
Yeah.
Especially when you say it so fluently, the way it comes out of your mouth.
Exactly.
You know when somebody is saying the word, when they're not, they know when they're not using that type of word.
Mm-hmm.
And, many people, they just, feel like they can do that, then they'll donate to a little bit of charity, and it just goes away, actually. It goes away. Everything is back to normal. he or she is still that same hateful person that was there. They just gave them a little bit of money, you know, to an organization, you know, and
And then
just
that's it. Yeah, that's
you
it.
know. So, you know, money talks. Money does.
Yeah.
Money talks, and that's what all you have to do nowadays. You know, you say whatever you want to, as long as you got money. Hey, you know what? I'll give you some money. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I was talking to Robert Gillespie, and he was saying that, you know, one way that he thinks or he feels that we could probably take the power out of the word nigger is by just totally stop saying it. Stop using it, stop saying it. Just stop. And then maybe if blacks stop saying it, then maybe others will stop saying it and using it as well.
But then again, on top of that, a lot of black people like using it.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
4 or 5 words ends with nigga.
Yeah.
With a lot of people, which really bothers me when it comes to my own people. If that's what you have to say every 3 to 4 sentences, you know, is nigga this, nigga that, it's irritating.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, okay, you know, living out your vocabulary, do something with yourself with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to hear that. You know, I don't want to hear that. Not from my own people.
Yeah.
You know, and I have got offended by keep being called that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
what's your problem? That's all you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so black people in general, I don't think will ever, and unfortunately to say that, they'll never get rid of that because, like you said, it makes money.
Yeah.
You know, especially in hip hop,
Yeah.
you know, that makes money.
Yeah.
That truly makes money.
So,
you know.
can the word actually be funny? I mean, you know, me and you are huge fans of the movie Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
And Blazing Saddles, that's a Mel Brooks movie about an older Western type movie theme back. And if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a funny movie. The usage of the word nigga in that movie it's being used. It's being used,
Right.
not just by blacks but by whites. But there are also other kind of racist incidences towards Jewish, Irish, Indians.
Indian,
Uh,
Mexicans.
yeah.
They even poke fun at homosexuals in the
Exactly.
in
They
there, so-
poke fun at everybody, but
Yeah.
but in the movie, there was a part in particular that kind of just made me just crack up laughing. Is when Sheriff Bart, that is the sheriff of. I'm not trying to give you the whole story if you haven't seen it, but when he goes outside and he sees the older white lady and he says, "Morning, ma'am," and she tells him, "Up yours, nigger." Now I cracked up during that part. It was just funny. It was unexpected and it was funny. And so I mean, like, can the word nigger be used in a funny way? And people, I mean, because the movie, it was funny and it was used a lot, and I didn't get offended, even though a lot of white people were saying it. So why is it that I wasn't offended with that as I would be offended with, you know?
Because it was meant to be a comedy. You know,
Mhm.
it's a movie that's a comedy, and they're poking fun of things that no doubt happened back then, just like it does now.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and I think that's one thing about it that, you know, the basic thing was about blacks and whites.
Yeah.
You know, but Mel Brooks made fun of everybody in there.
Yeah.
You know, he did. He made fun of everybody.
Mhm.
So, you know, with that being said, you know, it was a comedy. It wasn't like it was Roots.
No,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It wasn't like that.
Yeah,
you
I've
know,
sat through that.
you know, and yeah, you know,
And
and
that
gets you
pissed me
angry.
off.
Yes.
Yeah, that pissed
You know,
me off.
Amistad got me mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those movies got me angry.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. You know, I can't watch movies like that. I don't like. Well, me being blind, I can't watch them. But listening to them, you know, I don't like listening to movies like that because when it makes me angry like that, it's best that I don't. You know, and that's not just for movies that are just strictly towards black people. If it's just a movie where they're just downgrading another race. Just like the Schindler's List. That was a movie that I just had a lot of anger over. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of Jews died for no reason. So that bothered me, even though that was a part of history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It really bothered me. So, you know, things like that just gets to me regardless. But that was meant to be a comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Get you.
It was meant to poke fun at it.
So there is a way that the word nigger can be used and it be in a ha-ha sense other than poking fun at, you know, if you're poking fun at the word, basically that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
They were poking fun at how they were back in the day, how, you know, how things was.
Yeah.
You know, so with all of that, you know, poking fun and making the word, there's no way of banning the word. We've already come to that decision that there's really just no way that you can possibly ban the word.
Not at all.
You know, is the time for our leaders, our black leaders, to finally stand up and start doing more to bring about race relations?
Be honest with you, who are our black leaders? Who?
Yeah, I get you. I mean, well,
I don't know if a black leader should be getting paid to just talk.
Yeah, I mean, and
I
I don't think they should get paid to do that either. Not to come and talk about a problem that actually affects them as well.
Yeah,
I don't
you know,
get that.
I don't see the purpose in doing that. You know, I really don't. I don't know who you could really consider as a leader these days. You know, who could you really consider as a leader? You know, that's one thing that I honestly want to know with YouTube world.
Yeah.
Who do you think are our black leaders? Do we have any? Is there a need for more? You know, what is it? You know, who is it? I want to know, because that's something that, you know, comes to my mind sometimes, you know, because some of the so-called leaders that we do have, you know, they get paid to talk. You know?
That's the only way they gon' talk.
Yeah.
And show up is if you line their pockets.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, you know, a lot of black people that I've talked to, Robert Gillespie, I think I said even to Starlin Lewis, where they feel, these two, they feel that a lot of this stuff has really escalated ever since Trump has been into office. And I mean, tell you personally, Trump doesn't seem to be on black people's side at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about that?
I don't really think that Trump, in a lot of ways,
I don't think he's on anybody's side but his own, really.
Pretty much, you know, he's trying to make money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. He wants business back in America.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what color you are, as long as you want to work and make money for him, he's happy with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much what it is. But I do believe that with a lot of things, you know, since he's been in office now, yeah, a lot of things have shifted even more.